This is an air conditioner, window air conditioner with a stuck fan. And down in here, the motor won't start. So first thing I did before I cut these holes, I tried putting some oil down in here, getting it to the shaft. And you can take the motor, try to push the fan back and forth with a rod or something, and sometimes that'll get it to go. In this case, I've done this a few times and it didn't work, so what I ended up doing is cutting some slots out here so I could get up in here to get the power off, then using a brush, some little brushes, putting some Kroil on, and then going through and gingerly putting the Kroil down in here on the shaft using the end of the brush. Now you got to be really quick with that because it's fairly a thin liquid, so I ended up seeping the Kroil down where the shaft is right there. And then once you do that, you can go through and try to move the fan back and forth. If you move it axially this way, here's a diagram, you try to move the shaft this way, you'll tend to weep in some Kroil down in these two bearings. And once you've got this to freely spin, and then put some thicker oil in there, which it really needs in there to work properly. So in this one I've got it all to work, but what happens is that on the salt water gets in there after years and sprays in there and gets to where the shaft just freezes up. Now the front shaft in this particular unit has got a rubber washer that you have to pry away. This rear one here, there is no rubber washer, but if you move the shaft, the fan back and forth this way, it tends to, you're moving the shaft on the bushing here, and it allows a lot of times the Kroil or thinner oil to wick in here, WD-40 or something, to get it freed up. But once you've got it fairly freed up and it'll spin, you want to wick some thick motor oil in there, SA30 or some SA20 oil to go through, and so it's going to have some life to it. This unit is about 10 years old, and 7 years ago started doing this, and I've always been able to wick in some oil with the Zoom Spout through the slots and get at it. In this particular morning here, it wouldn't work, so I ended up cutting an access hole here, and I'll try to bend these back down, but these are really not made to be taken apart and serviced because they're more disposable. But now you can just turn the shaft fan here like this and it'll just go freely, and it'll go ahead and start up. This is one that was bought after Katrina, and that's got just regular bushings. There's no ball bearings in there, and now it'll completely spin up.